Hello! Welcome to Squid Essays. Inking your academic pen. My name is Julie and I will be your instructor as we read through my educational philosophy statement. The article source is embedded in the video description below. Feel free to read along. Please note that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay for as little as $10 a page at Squid Essays. The link is in the description. The development of educational philosophy is extremely important for each teacher since it defines her basic principles, behavior and attitudes in the education process. At the same time, educational philosophy is as unique as the personality of teacher. Naturally, each teacher should have certain principles he/she should constantly follow in his/her educational career. Speaking about my educational philosophy, I should say that primarily I take into consideration the recent changes in education and attempt to match the basic demands of the modern epoch and needs of students. Probably, the most important part of my educational philosophy is relationship with students. Basically, I think that teachers should be very attentive to students' needs, but, at the same time, pay a lot of attention to their skills, abilities, and knowledge. It is obvious that it is impossible to have some universal approach to each student since each student is an independent individuality with his/her own needs, interests, and potential. This is why my major task as a teacher is to fully reveal the potential of each student and encourage them to study and develop their skills and abilities on the basis of new knowledge they acquire in the learning process. Consequently, I should work out an individual approach to each student. That is one of the major elements of my professionalism as a teacher, which is, unquestionably extremely important since only highly qualified professionals should work in education. Otherwise, they threaten to the future of students they work with as well as to the future of the whole society because, to a significant extent, it is teachers who shape students' personality and often they are the only professionals who can redirect students to the right way in their life. In this respect, I should say that it is not only teachers' professional knowledge and skills that influence their students but also their behavior, thoughts, and philosophy at large that affect dramatically students. This is why it is extremely important to avoid any kind of authoritarian or laissez-faire teaching but, instead, be a really democratic teacher in order to make students really feel independent, socially significant, respected, and, on the other hand, remain respectful and be conscious of the rights of other people. Practically, it means that a teacher should develop a democratic attitude to his/her students on the basis of principles of equality and mutual respect. That means that students should be active participants of the educational process but by no means they cannot be thoughtless subjects subordinated to the will of a teacher. At the same time, the teacher should be able to indicate students at the right way if he/she realizes that they are wrong in their judgments and views, but it is necessary to do in discussions so that students could arrive to the understanding of their mistakes themselves, while the role of teacher should be rather that of assistants. However, teachers should possess a certain degree of authority, but it does not mean that they should impose their views to students and be authoritarian, but it means that teachers should be respectful and remain respected by students at the same time. To meet this goal, it is necessary to perfectly know your students. What is really important here is the necessity to know not only students' learning skills and abilities but also their cultural and social background that are extremely important and without which it is practically impossible to understand the personality of each student and individual approach to each of them. It is not a secret that socio-cultural background plays an extremely important role in the life of students and, to a significant extent, shapes their identity. This is why a teacher needs to be integrated in students' community in order to perfectly understand his/her students, their behavior and its motives in order to properly interpret it and adequately react. Thus, taking into account all above mentioned, it is possible to conclude that, in my opinion, I, as a teacher, should follow the main principles of my educational philosophy in order to achieve possibly better results in my work. To put it more precisely, I should be highly professional in my subject, possess profound knowledge, develop individual approach to each student not only on the basis of the knowledge about their learning skills and abilities but also on the basis of their socio-cultural background. My relationships with students should be democratic since it will provide the opportunity to fully reveal students' potential and positively influence the formation of their personality and cultural identity. That is probably the major task of each teacher. Thank you for taking your time to listen to me. I hope you enjoyed learning about my educational philosophy statement as much as I did. Kindly remember that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay at Squid Essays for as little as $10. The link is in the description. See you next time.